This is Perry Riley from Riley Honey Farm, and we're here to talk about this honey maker hive. How it came about was I took care of an exchange student all during high school months, going to school here locally, and he was pretty interesting. His dad was a beekeeper. That's why they asked us to be with him. So his parents asked us to come to Germany, and I thought, well, I'd teach them a lot. Well, when I got over there, I was on 101. They're so much more advanced than we are in beekeeping. There ain't even no comparison. So I thought, I just kept my mouth shut and listened to everything. And then one thing got me is how much honey got off of a hive. And when we was traveling around, you never seen hives. More of the hives look like this. You didn't see any like the American hive on the other side over here. We traveled around, we finally found one, and the beekeeper said, that's an antique. You can't make no money on a hive like that, and won't put out no honey. So then I got the idea when I got home, I built some of these, and I had to change it from metric over, and this is my style of it, not theirs. I had to make it fit our frames and everything, and I put 10 of these hives like this one on sweet clover right over here in the field right over here, and I put 2 American hives over there, and it was white, yellow, and white, so we had 6 weeks of sweet clover bloom. And when it was done, we had 3 frames in that, and the other one had 2 frames. So I got just 5 frames of honey off of 2 hives. On these, the least I had was a whole honey super full, and the best I had was 3 honey super full. So it pays you to spend a little more money per hive because you'll get it back in extra honey. And this is an unbelievable one. My wife was there to visit his parents, and of course he's a beekeeper, and he had 75 hives, and got 11,000 pounds of honey off of them. That's a lot of honey. Now, there's several reasons why he did. One reason is they use the more modern hive. Second reason is they have better nectar flow. Now here, they GMO'd a lot of our stuff. Used to soybeans brought in a lot of honey, cotton, and a lot of different products. They GMO, they don't bring in any honey. They won't hardly run soybeans anymore, and so that all makes a big difference. And then there's no chemicals. There's no chemicals to make the hive weak because they did away with the chemicals. And as far as agriculture is concerned, they're way more modern. In fact, I had one farmer said, well, they got these old tractors and don't get 30 bushel acre corn. Well, I got news for them. I got news for that farmer. They got a brand new John Deere factory in Germany over there. A lot of them had new tractors, came out of this factory. And they had another tractor of their own name brand, but a lot of John Deere's over there. And the farming techniques I never got into, but their farm fields look way better than ours without chemicals. They just had a different color, and they're way more advanced than we are in raising good, healthy food. So we're going to get back to the honeybees now. We're going to explain how this hive works. First place, when I had these on sweet clover, it's hot. It's in July, and this American hive had bees on the front. Why these on the front? They're cooling the hive. Well, as long as there are a bunch of bees are cooling the front of the hive, they're not bringing in no honey. They're not bringing in no nectar to make honey. And here, there wasn't any of that because it has this cover over it, and it keeps it more cooler, so they're going to automatically make more honey. Now, this cover removes, and the top of it is an insulation board. That's where all your heat and cold weather. And cold weather just help you keep it more insulated. So that's really a good thing. That don't have that. That metal will get hot and it'll go right down inside the hive. And here, when you get ready to take the honey off, it has a bee escape. Now what this bee escape does, it allows bees to leave but they can't get back up. So you put this below the honey super, and when you get ready to process your honey and take it off, well, you do this the day before, and then the next day you come in here and you take it off, and you have to use chemicals or anything to get the bees out of the honey supers, because you can't. If you ever tried it to take honey supers off full of bees, you got yourself a job. You probably get stung. So that's another plus on it. Now another plus thing is there's a piece of plastic always stays on the top, and it keeps the moisture out of the hive. You know, they use this in building houses. A lot of times they'll put plastic on the outside of the house and things, and that keeps the moisture down. And these take regular length-width hives that you use in this hive, and thing they'll fit right in here.
Shiplap.
Then you have the queen excluder next.
Shiplap.
I mean, queen excluder, and that keeps the queen out of the honey super. Now you take this off in the winter. Now another thing about this hive, you run with one honey super. Now you run one deep hive and one honey super. You don't use two deep hive bodies. You use two deep hive bodies, you get way less honey. So here you run with the honey super on top and the deep. That's all you ever have. Now you can add extra honey supers on. Now another good feature about this, there's a little board in here, and this serves a big purpose. When the winds are blowing in the winter, air will come right in there and cool hive down. Here, this breaks it up, so you don't get that. Also in the summer, it keeps hot air from coming in there. And then this is a board on the front of the landing board. And what happens is the bees will come in full of pollen and nectar, and they'll come in here. Well, the thing about a bee is they're like a car. When they run out of gas, they're done. And they use honey for fuel. And when they're out, they'll come in and they got to judge how much they can carry to get back here. You know, they only carry so much. If they got twice the load as one, it'll take half the distance. So if in the spring, when my bees come in here real early, maybe late February, they come in just a little bit of pollen. I think they're lazy bees. They're not lazy bees. They had to go a long, long ways off to get that, and that's all they can carry back and get to the hive. And if you see bees coming in just full of pollen all the way, I'll guarantee you they didn't go over a quarter of a mile to get it. They got it right close by. So the further away, the less they can carry, and the less efficient you are. That's why it's important to have your hive as close as you can to the nectar source. You'll get more honey. If you don't, you'll use it all up in fuel for transportation. Now, then this is when the bees light and they can't make it. You see dead bees from your hive. They can still crawl, but they can't fly. And they'll crawl all up in here, get some more fuel, and leave and go for another trip. And you'll get about 25% more honey if you got a landing board that goes to the ground. Also, these hives you see are shiplapped. Okay? All you have to do is put a strap around them, and they ain't going to move. Now on that, you got to watch it. They'll move apart on you. But not here. And then when you get ready to move them, all you got is a deep hive body. That's all. So when you're going around pollinating, it's easy because you ain't got no weight. So they can take it and take them a long ways and pollinate with them. And over there they didn't have trucks or semis because they could use trailers with these type hive, and they couldn't compete with the semi couldn't compete with this because of the extra expense. Semi is expensive. So if you do this, it's easy to move. That right there. Then you just put a strap around it. And also, when you move them, they got to have ventilation. So you move this up, and there's a ventilation right here in the front. If it's very hot, that's not enough. So in the back, you had the same thing. You got the very same thing. And there's a board right in here. In here, this has got a board in it. And when you move it, you take that board out. It's called a ventilation board. And that way there's plenty of air going in and out there and you won't lose your hive won't get overheated. It's real simple. And then also you can put patties in this bottom down here. So that's about it. But if you want to get in the bee business, make money, you got to have a hive that'll get you honey. So if you want to go in more detail on this, I have a book out, How to Raise Honeybees Without Chemicals, and it's available on eBay or our website. It's available on our website or chemical-free beekeeping.com. And it's available on the website. And also my book I've got out explains more in detail about this. Okay? If you want to get in the bee business, you better be smart and get you a good hive.